We are about to enter the eclipse season if we're not already in it by the time you watch this video. The eclipse seasons can be kind of intense for people, and that's why I'm making this video, because I had an incredibly intense time about 6 years ago with an eclipse season, and it knocked me sideways for the coming months. And this eclipse season in particular that we're entering into has an incredible potential for transformation. And if we recognize the power and how to use eclipse seasons, we don't have to be knocked sideways, or at least when we're getting knocked sideways, we know what's happening. So I'm here to help shed some light on it and to tell you when the two eclipses are that are coming up, and basically and give a light language activation for each of them. One will be in this video, and the second one will be live during the second eclipse. And so feel free to, I'd love for you to join me for that if you feel called. And so what are eclipses, and what are the meaning of the eclipses that are coming up? So the eclipses, the two eclipses that are happening, well, first I'll talk about this eclipse that's happening first on 12:17 a.m. on March 25th. And so this eclipse is a lunar eclipse, a lunar eclipse in Libra. So if you're familiar with Libra at all, or if you're not familiar with Libra at all, when an eclipse happens in a zodiac sign, it uncovers the shadowy side of that sign. So this one is Libra, and that's relationships. And so what we're going to be focusing on in this light language activation that I'm going to be doing today is our relationship with our basically whatever is keeping us, keeping our lights dimmed, keeping us under covers, not being seen. So our relationships with our partners, so whatever is happening in there, our relationships with ourselves, it could be self-sabotage, our relationships with how the world sees us. And this is for people who are stepping into the public arena. So these relationships, the shadowy side is going to be visible. We're going to be able to see it during these next 2 weeks. So what's good about this is that with our intentions on these things, that we want to direct our focus during this next 2 weeks or longer, we can start to work with celestial energies because they're already set up for this kind of work. We can align with these energies, and then we can use that momentum to really spring us forward into the next eclipse, which is on April 8th. And so on that eclipse, that is an Aries eclipse, moon in Aries, or the sun is in Aries. And so it's a solar eclipse. And what is going to allow us at that point is to really step into our fullness in these areas of our relationships with ourselves, with our partners, with the world. And so this is like a massive setup for this next coming year. Aries, we're now in the season of Aries. Aries is the very beginning of the zodiac sign. And so unlike our New Year's Eve, which marks a full new year, this is the new year in the zodiac sign. And so this setup is incredible to propel us forward into this coming year. So the reason why people can get unhinged during eclipse seasons, especially if they don't know what's happening, is because the shadows are coming up, the shadow aspects. And if we're not consciously walking through this time period, knowing that this is happening, then holy cow, it's intense, and you don't know what you can do about it. You don't know what's going on. You may not even believe, or people may not even believe that these, the heavenly bodies have any effect on us. And so, Yeah, and so not saying that this time period over the next 2 weeks in between the two eclipses isn't going to be a smooth sailing, but it gives us the opportunity to really dive into these areas consciously knowing that we are going in there and shifting. You know, sometimes when it's like when we do the deeper work, it's like we get the greatest results. And so this is that moment in time where we can really dramatically have an effect on our own lives, really shifting, because that's what eclipses are all about, what windows of opportunity and shifting reality. And so, having said that, we're going to dive into doing a light language activation. And so this is if you don't know what light language activations are, you can check out my other video here on that, or I'll put it in the description afterwards. That's what I'll do. And of what light language is. It's basically a sound healing. And what I'm going to suggest now is just before we go into that light language activation, is I'm going to say a few words and just let whatever comes up with them in your own psyche, whatever wants to be revealed at this moment, that will be what we're going to work on with the light language activation. So this light language activation is directed towards our relationships with ourselves, our partners, and the world. Okay? So taking a deep breath, me too. Maybe taking a couple of deep breaths. So my question to you is, where have you been dimming your light? Don't try and think about it. Just let whatever is ready to come up from your subconscious into your conscious at this time. And be present with it as we go through this light language activation. Sayas sushusurokona, as ish urusimana, kaid sushalegena, aumuko oshatana, ayok orus enema oshata eyakansana, o sinaman yanarekena, asech urukorana, eam unshurares, shasepok orona. Erares unhusharake enna, aro shatare inaka, like peeling back the layers that have kept us from seeing. Sholset erenum oshot eres inik irumusoto. I shote amokos and shoteta pukiana asetuna, anush atereka mokona. Oh, shotere mok oronat emokonya. Working on the crown chakra, opening up the connection with the divine again. So shatare enamoko o shanat erens osh anereke magarnyats orod amok orons ayant ois emakarets emotionega anata. Keeping the grounding, always stepping into that grounding. O se shatare amok anasetana. I ase shatare amok oras enyadana. O sinet enemok oras inama sechana. Are ana satyana. O wash are amok orono. Ane as shatare amok orono. Neate sitio mokosha na borona. Finding that center. Sushateranyata rotsinyarata. No matter what is going on the outside. Wosechanatya nomote nisikarandai. O say anopayadana. Upping our octaves to a higher level. Sushotareana senamo enakanana. Oyanaya seno shariamana. O shanditsumokorianai. Kasi shadoranama kasatyatanamukujata sikichudo. I see Jatarekamu Sijana Setiaragasokoshto. Opening up our celestial connections. Musichata Sinakors Enemukors. I see Lamukorunt. Amushadarenda. A lot of crown chakra work. I see Sintakoramas. I say Taratia. Vincent Jananda. Integrity, Mosicheteros, Oshatarina Gaianna, Ena Sotoronko, Sentaremoko Shatapana, Seteraka, connecting with a deeper sense of peace. And also with a knowing that there's something greater here for each of us. Stepping into our fifth dimensional selves. Oh, Satyara Sepakona Sigit Shandana. Just taking a few moments here to relax and let this integrate. Doing this work is like prepping the soil before the planting of the really good stuff. So take this as a couple of weeks of really that deep soul love work, because that's what this is. We have the opportunity right now to like clear down this energy in a very profound way that can make some huge shifts for us ourselves. And you can do stuff like, go walking barefoot in the woods or somewhere where you can connect with the earth. Write this stuff out, when stuff comes up and it's like, oh, I see that, that's that shadowy, that side, that's that cloudy part I can't get through, or those old patterns of self-sabotage, and not whatever it is that's keeping the light from shining within you. This can be a mantra as well. So allowing my light to shine, which will prep us really nicely for the Aries solar eclipse. And if you're feeling called, if you would like to have some assistance with more light language activations to help shift this energy out of you, feel free to look below to where my website is, and you'll find a link where I can give you a session. So before I leave you, I wanted to share just a little bit about the solar eclipse that's coming up. So as I said, there's going to be a YouTube event that I'll be hosting, and it will be a light language activation as well for all of those who attend, as well as those in the future who are watching. And I'm going to help you guys with shifting any other energetics that need to be released. as well as helping you attune to the energetics of this eclipse, this solar eclipse in Aries. So that Aries energy is self. It's that personal drive, and it's that personal energy. Like, this is the I am, and so it's the beginning of the zodiac, and it is it's basically helping us shift into that. What is the opposite of, closing down? Is that, brightness? It's like our light. It's like helping us shift into that light. That's exactly what this full moon eclipse is for. And especially if we can walk into it consciously, then we can just really open up and beam our light. And so that's what we'll be doing together. So mark your calendars. It's going to be at 10:45 Pacific Daylight Time, AM. And so that'll be the height of the eclipse moment that we'll be connecting with and at the same time together. And the reason why I'm doing this is so that you can access this energy. It'll be accessible to you. And it's like putting that attention on it together in a group is phenomenal, especially with the light language activation that's catered for the group energy. And it's free. I'm doing it because I just want to. It's like, I've had that in the past, and I just, where I was affected so intensely by the eclipses, that I know how intense it can feel. And so I'm here, and this is what we're going to do together. And then after that, we're going to be doing a week later, just as a follow-up, Mercury in retrograde. So it's basically, if we don't know the energies that have been coming up and being released, but we can just feel them coming up and being released, retrograde is the time where we're going to be able to look back and be like, oh, okay, this is, what's happened, to us, and this is what's been going on, and just to help a little integration, light language activation at that time. So be sure to subscribe, as well as mark your calendars to make sure that you are notified, as well as you remember to be on YouTube to be notified, or just come to my channel. And actually, I don't think it works that way. I think you're notified, basically. And so you can do that. And I will put the link in the description below for that YouTube event. So if you know of anybody else who would feel a great alignment with this, who would love to consciously go through this, or you have an inkling that they would like to go through this eclipse season, not just on themselves, but together. We are together. You don't have to do this alone. Then send this link along to them, and so that they can watch and see what it's about. And so blessings be, dear ones, sweet, sweet souls. Sweet soul. And as we navigate this time together, this new moon, or this full moon eclipse, and the solar eclipse that's coming, and may we be blessed during this time with beautiful transformations, and for ourselves as well as the globe, because we're going through this together, right? This is something where it's not just a one-on-one. This is humanity stepping into their authenticity, having that potential for authenticity. And so the more of us that align with that, we're actually helping, assisting humanity to want to align with that, just from a collective point of view. So what is done for the one is done for the all. Blessings, dear. Blessings be, dear one. Bye for now. See you next time.